Welcome back to Fast Market on the TD Ameritrade Network. I'm Tom White, joined by my co-host Kevin Hinks. But let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's Andy Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio. Andy, welcome to the show. We're talking Costco. I mean, who doesn't like going to Costco, right? You go in there expecting to buy one or two things, you walk out spending $500 because you found a few things that you might not need. Now, this company gives, sales data on a monthly basis. They're one of the only retailers out there still doing this. So earnings is never like a huge event for them because you get a lot of the background data points. But as far as investor and consumer sentiment data goes on Costco, it's got to be pretty positive, right?
It's strikingly positive, actually. When we look at Costco, this is, one of our favorite companies long term. You're right about earnings. They kind of give it away on a month-by-month basis. I'm sure they'll have some interesting things to say about inflation pressures on the products that they sell and how much they can pass through to consumers. I think that's going to be an important call, not just for Costco, but for the economy overall. But, when we look at Costco from a consumer behavior perspective, they're just hitting kind of everything out of the park. They've got a subscription model type of business, a membership business, which gives them recurring revenue that they can count on, kind of locks people into their store as customers. And those customers are very, very happy. When we look at the consumer happiness comparison of Costco versus competitors, whether it's Sam's Club, Target, or Walmart, Costco really outperforms the field in a big way. And a big part of that is their private label brand, Kirkland, the Kirkland Signature brand. Very interesting. They will sell anything from vodka to golf putters. At this point, they will rip off anything that they think they can make a profit on and sell their customers. And they do a really good job of it, of making those customers really happy. And so we love to see that for a company like Costco with a membership base, because it tells us that their membership base is solid, and that's the key to their success. And they're doing it better than anyone else. And so, very positive on Costco long term. We think the macro trend inflationary environment actually pushes people into their stores versus competitors, as well as consumers look for any way they can to save a buck, whether it's in the store, on food items, or at the pump.
Andy, why did LikeFolio, when comparing Costco and Sam's Club and Target and Walmart, why did you guys put Kirkland Signature in there? Just to show that it gives Costco that lift? I mean, you're right. Yeah. This brand and what they sell and what they are willing to sell is everywhere, right? They're willing to literally touch every segment of retail. They'll sell you a dress shirt. They'll sell you work boots. They'll sell you jeans. There's nothing they won't sell you. But why are you putting Kirkland on top of there? Give us your rationalization for how you did that to show that it's pulling Costco higher.
Yeah, it's a driver of Costco's success with consumers, and it's one of the most positive, just overall brands that we track in all of retail. And that's pretty incredible considering the breadth of goods that they sell. So it's a driver of Costco's success. And it's also, something that we could see consumers moving more and more towards as prices start to rise and you're starting to look for reduced cost items. The Kirkland Signature brand has done a fantastic job of offering, high quality products at lower prices, and that's kind of the key to success in an inflationary environment. So that's why we put it on there. It's a big driver of Costco's success, and we think it's an attractor of new members going forward.
All right, Andy. So, they've got great data, right? They got, positive double-digit year-over-year sales growth. Now, those comparables are going to start to get higher. One thing I wanted to ask you, because their sentiment data and happiness data is so high and so elevated, they haven't raised prices on their membership since 2017. And that last time they did it, they raised it $5 for the basic membership and then for the executive membership. They're due to raise prices now. There's some reports out there that they might do it. Will that hurt sentiment at all, or it's just another inflationary item that people will have to, deal with at this point? Because I can't see somebody dropping their membership because their membership goes up $5 or $10.
No, I can't either. It's along the lines of an Amazon Prime membership where we see, as those price increases for membership take hold. Certainly, there's some outcry from consumers, but really, does it affect the membership rates? Does it cause a lot of churn? No, it almost never does. It's nothing like a Rivian truck increasing prices by 20% on the reserved models that they have out there. It's nothing disruptive like that. I think Costco has the pricing power to do a larger price raise if they wanted to. I don't think that they will, but when you've got consumer happiness data as high as they have, it's just very unlikely that hardly anyone will cancel over a nominal price increase to membership.
Andy, one last thing. A lot of the things I'm reading about Costco in this quarter was the growth is starting to decelerate. I think that's why you saw it correct slightly, even though it is rallying into earnings. Are you guys seeing, is your data showing any deceleration off the peak in their earnings revenue?
Yeah, I can't speak to earnings because we really don't have very much insight at all into how much the goods are costing them that they're selling, or the employees are costing them that they're employing. But I will say, from a consumer demand perspective, we're actually seeing Costco start to tick to what I consider all-time highs outside of that COVID pandemic rush that happened right as things started to get locked down. So you take that out, we're seeing Costco consumer demand levels at or near all-time highs and moving higher. So I think long term, the company has very, very good reason to believe more and more people are coming into the Costco way of life and the sample and $1.50 hot dog way of life.
Yeah, and Andy, there's a Costco about a mile from my house here in Chicago. There aren't that many in the city, but the lines for the gas stations, there's going to be one area that is just going to continue, right? There's a 20-minute wait just to get up to the pump at my local Costco. But when you look at the data that you guys have going into this earnings event and the fact that they give those monthly reports as far as same-store sales go, what kind of score do you guys have going into this earnings event for Costco?
Yeah, extraordinarily neutral. I think the market's pretty much got things priced right. Costco's definitely a long-term story. We don't see any short-term divergence or huge opportunity on earnings going into this call.
Staunchly neutral on that. And I think if you look at it over past 3 years, it's up 150%, the stock has. So the pandemic has definitely brought it forward, but the comparables definitely start to get harder at these levels and these valuations for the stock. All right, great stuff. As always, Andy, have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
All right, that's Andy Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio.com. But Kevin, now